Hey, I'm Scotty, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to sketch this simple church step by step, and you could even use this as a Christmas card. So to measure out this sketch to make sure it fits on this page, we're using dots to start with the width. Just off the bottom, let's put 2 dots for the width. I might make my width a little bit wider. Now divide that width into 3, so I'll put 2 more dots in the middle. But in actual fact, it's 2/3 of that width, and move up, and that is where the corner of the building is. And then across the same height on this side. Just so happens that the top bit of the roof, the very top, is the same height as the bottom. So we grab that roughly, put it there. Now we can start outlining those main shapes. So going down and up and then sideways. Around certain things, there's a plant there. So let's go down. So it just comes out a little bit. And then now let's join that up. But as we're doing it, we've got these little shingle tiles. You go up, back, up, back, and we do it as even as you can. Do the same thing back, zigzaggy line. Now we've got the outline of that bottom part of the building, so it's a little bit bigger than that distance. We go up and you can make it a little bit higher there so that it fills up the page. If we go about halfway and then down just slightly, and we have 3 points for the top roof, so let's outline that down here like that. It's got a bit of a curve, and you can draw a line across like this either side, straight down until we hit the roof, and then I'll come across and put a dot there so I know where to aim for. Let's do the trees. Let's make that tree a bit bigger, and we're just outlining the tree as loosely and expressively as you can. That trunk of the tree goes across there. Let's go up, we have a bit of the tree there, and then it comes down. Get these loose lines, and that's the base of the tree. Now we have that line going all the way across the page. So I'm going to move down to breaking up these big shapes. So there's a section here, a very thin line here, just where those tiles are, and then back down this way. It's a bit narrower, this yellow bit, and that's where the yellow changes direction. And then they come tapering out just slightly. I'm just doing this in one line. It's going back and forth, up and down. If we go halfway and then up just a bit, and then we double that distance up for the top of that roof there. Can add a little bit of a zigzag line again. Add the layers all the way down to the ground. Across for the door, and then down. And then a dark line in the middle, so I'm pressing a bit harder. There's a little light here, and then let's add that outline in the inside. So the windows look like they're either side of this point, so, and then there should be a width away from the edge here. Straight down. Same height, and same height there. In the middle on each side, and this in half, and then right down the center vertically. That yellow framing around that outside as well on that side. And then little rectangles. Light lines, but just hinting at a few. And there's a plant there. Outlines from those stonework. Okay, one more detail is those vertical lines on that orange section of the building. Closer together. I'll leave most of the detail around the church and leave the rest very simple. Okay, it's time to add some watercolor. I have my round 10 brush. First color I'm going to use is yellow ochre. I'd like to go over these edges here. And we come up here, all this is quite light up here, so I've got lots of water in so that it's quite thin. On the top, I'm leaving a bit of that where the tiles are, and that'll still be light. New section down to there, and across again. Once again, pulling it in the bottom there so it gives it that light effect. And the stairs, they're all quite... Sorry I had the camera off there. Now you're back with me. So I'm actually going to use my hairdryer to speed this up. Make sure that's all dry. Now it's dry from the hairdryer. Burnt sienna and alizarin crimson. So avoid the wreath and the windows. So we're dragging the paint down so it should be dark in the corners here. We're leaving this bit. Now go over the light. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a second. That. The lights, what we're going to do today is use the lemon yellow. On that light there, just touch it a little bit. I'm going to blow dry that just quickly so I can move on to the other colours. Now the windows, go back to the yellow ochre. So now the trees. So this tree here, I'm going to make that slightly warmer than those two trees. So this one has some sap green in it. So I'll put sap green into our palette. We'll add in some Payne's grey into that branches there, just brush strokes really. We'll go Viridian green and then add some Payne's grey here. So you can still leave bits of white, leaving these bits, but it's blending in. Okay, and as we go down, you can actually add some ultramarine. That might be interesting to give a bit of blue at the bottom. So this is the fun experimental part of my sketch, is adding in these lights. So we have lemon yellow. If it expands too much, just wait a bit longer. This is my imagination of what the lights would be. Basically Viridian green and some Payne's grey. And let's start on the other side. Very impressionistic, coming down. And then we can add in some more Payne's grey. Adding these in the white gaps, but still leaving some white. And then I add ultramarine. So it's cooler and lighter because that shows the distance. Lemon yellow. And once again, let's try and add in some of these lights here. Let's get a slight angle to them. Once again, I'm going to use my hairdryer to dry all this so then I can continue some of the background. So now let's look at that background, how we're going to simplify that. Sort of a medium Payne's grey up to a very light Payne's grey. Just leaving some grey there. So starting at the bottom, so then we're taking it up around the building and we'll slowly link them all up, and water. It's a lot lighter now. Let's put that in, just that there. So now we'll add a bit more Payne's grey there, saturate it, and we're doing the windows. So on each window, just put a little stroke. I can leave white around each window. Try and go around so we can add those in. I'll see if I can add just a second layer now, that's all dried, and bring that up. So I'm going to hair dry the background there and this red that I just did, and then we'll get back into some more details. Red for those baubles there. Now we'll do some dark spots, so that's where I'll grab some darker saturated versions of the colours. So tapping my brush just around here. So now for shadows, we can use Purple Lake, which I like to use, but you could use another colour. And I'll put some ultramarine here. Let's put a shadow here. Down there like that. That down there, and then down this side. Around the top here. It'll block the light coming down. If you find that it's not dark enough, you can get that ultramarine while it's still wet. Put some in here. And then here, I really want that front to stand out, so that'll turn that into a darker purple. In the background, a bit of shadow there on that tree. There might be shadows. So that is bone dry. I've been using my hairdryer for a long time to get that really dry, and that means that my white pen will work a lot better on that. So I have my Signo, Uniball Signo pen. Inside where those glowing yellow parts of the tree are. So the snow would be going on top of the roof line, so we can add in, if there's any paint cutting across the roof, you can add that in, but I'll add some white at the bottom there, and then on these stairs, and then snow around these rocks. They have to be very, very tiny. So that's how I sketched this simple church scene, making it into more of a Christmas scene with adding the lights and the reflections there. Hope you enjoyed that and you could make this into a Christmas card. If you want the full version with the reference and the template, you can download that on my Patreon, and you can post your sketch into the community there and ask me any questions. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.